Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. I'm Mary Kirshner, and I lead customer success team here at FocalCXM. Before I get started, I wanted you to know that we will have time at the end for Q&A. So please post your questions in the chat, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. Today, we are excited to talk about the work that we have done building dynamic search experiences with Coveo's Atomic framework. We have two of our technical architects here to lead us through this discussion, Sai Kumar and Ashok Chilikuri. Sai and Ashok will share their insights and give a demo on some of the work that we have done. And so with that, I will pass this along to Sai.
Everybody, thanks for joining this webinar. I'm Sai Kumar. So from last 3 years, I've been working on Coveo. So I'm going to share you my experience on how we can build dynamic search experiences with Coveo's Atomic framework. So let me go ahead with the agenda for today's webinar. So first, I'll walk you through on the problem statement, like why do we need to use Coveo's Atomic framework? And right after that, I will walk you through on the intro to Coveo Atomic framework. Then we will see some use cases like when and why we have to use this Coveo's Atomic framework. Then we will deep dive into the atomic components that we have, which are provided by Coveo as part of the documentation. Then right after that, I can walk you through on the practical demo. Then we can have the Q&A. So to get started, right, with the problem statement, so we have scientific affair colleagues, okay? To put it in simple, I would say like we have got sales rep, okay? So these sales rep, when they have the scientific exchange activities, when they have to communicate with the HCPs, right, for any kind of conversations, to provide some information about any kind of product or any kind of drug. So they need to have the documents. So ideally, they have some tons of documents. So all of these documents are available in different types of repositories. Okay, for example, Viva could be one of the repositories. So what is the biggest challenge that they always have is these tons of documents, when they're available in different repositories, when they have meetings with their HCPs on the go, they want to have some information quickly. So when they log into these kind of repositories, it's very hard for them to find these documents. So because of that reason, right, these meetings were not effective. Not only that, since they are in a hurry, they want to provide a lot of information about a specific drug or any kind of information, right? So they were not able to provide the right information. So because of this, right, they wanted to have a kind of Google-like search engine where they are able to access all the documents at one place. Okay, this is one of the biggest problem statement that they have come across, our client. So what we have done is to provide a solution for this, we have used Coveo. So the biggest problem that they had was whenever they search for a particular document, okay, even if they search with a keyword, they should be able to get the right document. And along with that, they should also have filters, to have the right documents. So they want to have an application. So basically, they want to have a search navigator application that should be developed. So we have used Coveo for developing this application. So Coveo provided us a framework. Basically, it's a JavaScript search framework, which is on top of JavaScript. So we implemented the whole application. It took us almost a year for implementing the application. And we have added almost 3 sources for it. And it was going all well. But over a period of time, right, we had 6 more sources to be added. So that is where the challenge that we have got. So as Coveo, is being used with multiple clients. So when it comes to JavaScript search framework, there are a lot of issues we have got. So issues like we don't have the ease of development. Even the modularity of the application, we have a challenge there. So what Coveo have done is they have come up with a new framework called as Atomic framework. So right now, right, when it comes to JavaScript search framework, so they have put that into the maintenance mode, which means if somebody wants to develop any kind of search application or search platform, right? So Coveo recommends them to use Atomic framework. So let's talk about Atomic framework. So Atomic framework is a web component library for assembling responsive, accessible, and future-proof Coveo-powered search UIs. Okay, ideally what Atomic framework help us to do is, in case if you want to get started developing a search interface, right? So you don't have to develop it from scratch, because this Coveo Atomic library provides us a lot of predefined web components. these predefined web components will help you to develop the application in no time. So atomic components are actually self-encapsulated, composable, and lightweight. So since they are self-encapsulated, so you can reuse them wherever you want. And under the hood, right, Atomic relies on Coveo Headless library. So this is one of the most powerful libraries that Coveo has come up with. And this headless library, it takes the help from Coveo APIs. Ideally, right, we are going to interact with the top layer of Coveo APIs, which is Coveo Atomic. So along with this, right, what they have done is, right now, the industry is more focused on the solutions which can be developed within no time, right? So in case if I want to develop any kind of front end, I cannot go with JavaScript. So we have, the trending frameworks that we have in the market, like Angular, Vue.js, and a library like React. So Coveo decided that they also want to bring in this Atomic library integrated with front-end frameworks like Angular, React, and then Vue.js. So for anybody, right, if they want to pick up Coveo Atomic library, if they know Angular or React or Vue.js, they can develop the search application within no time. So let's see what are the advantages that we have got. Okay, so before that, right, I just want to make you understand what are the real-time use cases where you can actually use Atomic. Okay, so Atomic is ideal option if you really want to quickly assemble a feature-rich Coveo-powered search interface without having to implement all of its UI components on your own. As I've told you that the Atomic library, okay, we have got a lot of predefined components that are available, which we can customize just like that. If we know any kind of front-end framework, we can just pick it up and we can just go ahead and do whatever the customizations that you want. So the same if you want to do it with JavaScript search framework, it takes a lot of time. Okay, that is the major advantage that we have. Now, if somebody wants to pick up Atomic, right, Coveo Atomic, so if they are good at Angular or React.js or Vue.js, they can easily pick it up because Coveo supports all of these three front-end frameworks that we have. Okay, now why do we need to use this Coveo Atomic? So because it is tailored for developers. Okay, see, end of the day, right, the whole goal of Coveo is they want to ensure that they provide the information or the documents to the end users on their fingertips. Okay, but for that to happen, right, they need to ensure that they provide the developer-friendly framework. So that's how Atomic framework has been tailored. So Coveo Atomic is meticulously crafted with developers in mind, offering a rich selection of UI components meticulously designed to streamline your development process, which means the standard process that we follow to develop any kind of front-end application, okay, either using with Angular, React, or Vue.js, right? The same format that you can follow. You don't have to, do any changes to it. You can follow the standard process and you can go ahead and develop it. And since I've told you that Atomic framework is dependent on Coveo Headless, so this is powered by Coveo Headless, which is on top of the Coveo Headless library. So Coveo Atomic combines flexibility with robust functionality, providing you with the tools you need to create dynamic search experiences. So, and along with this, right, it offers you framework agnostic. So you can choose any kind of front-end framework that is available in the market. Right now, we have got React, Angular, and Vue.js. So you can pick one of it and we can start working on that. Okay, so these are some of the Atomic components that I've listed over here. In case if you want to go with JavaScript search framework, right, still we can use those components, but ideally to customize them, right, you have to write a lot of code. At the same time, reusability is one of the challenges that we have got, right? But these Atomic components, they are crafted based on the front-end frameworks that we have. So Atomic folder result list. So I'll walk you through all of this, from the component library. I can walk you through on the component library. I can show you what are different kinds of components that it provides. Then along with that, when I walk you through the demo, that's when you'll understand how we are using this Atomic components as part of this, as part of our implementation. So these Atomic components, since all these front-end frameworks like Angular, React, and Vue.js, these are component-based. So even Atomic provides us, as I'm telling you, it is providing you these kind of components, right? So these components, they are integrated or they are incorporated into the respective frameworks component. So hence you can use them directly. So let me show you a list of components. So before that, here are some of the advantages that you're going to have when you use Atomic framework. The first one is the modularity. then the flexibility, the consistency. So when we talk about consistency, right, these components, as in when your application grows, as in when you have got a lot of new components being added, so there won't be any change in the performance. Meaning you can have a greater performance because that is taken care at the level of atomic framework. And the most important thing is the ease of the development. So any developer, right? Let's say if somebody knows Angular or React or Vue.js, right? So they don't even have any knowledge on Coveo. So they can pick up Coveo within a couple of days and they can start implementing them because this is more like a library. Okay, now they implemented, so they moved from like a platform to a library level. So if somebody wants to bring in a third-party library, just like how we take an example of Angular. So in case if you want to bring in a library, what we do, we are just going to install it. We'll say npm install and then the library line. The similar way, right? When it comes to the developers, they can use it as a library. They can start working on it. So these are the major advantages that we have experienced practically as part of Atomic Framework. Okay, now whatever I discussed so far, let me walk you through that through a demo. I'll make you understand, right, how we can do a setup of Atomic Framework with JavaScript framework, okay, as well as I can show you with Angular. So, but I would suggest you to, guys, in case if you would like to implement this, I would suggest you to go with either Angular, React, or Vue.js because these front-end frameworks, they help me a lot. They helped us a lot in terms of development time. So taking an example like, our client wanted us to upgrade from to they wanted us to upgrade to Atomic Framework, and within no time, like right within 2.5 months, we were able to complete the whole development. Okay, so you can imagine like we saved almost 8 months of time by using Angular and as well as this Coveo Atomic Framework to upgrade. Okay, so let me walk you through the demo. I hope you guys are able to see my screen, the sandbox. Can somebody confirm?
Yes,
Can somebody confirm?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. See, first, what I'm showing you is, let's say you don't want to use a framework. Okay. You don't want to use Angular or you don't want to use any kind of front-end frameworks, but still you want to use Coveo Atomic, right? Even you can do that. Okay. So the very first thing that you can do is you can just bring in the CDN. Okay. So this CDN is so powerful that it brings you all the atomic components. And along with that, you can have the CSS library, which is provided by Coveo. Okay. So by adding these two CDNs, then your page becomes, your application becomes so powerful with Atomic. Okay. All right. So once you add all of this, right? Once you add the CDNs, then the next step is you can have your access token, then the organization ID. So then you can bring up the Coveo search interface. Then right after that, here are the different predefined components that we have got, which you can use for the implementation. So these are the different types of components. Okay. Atomic area life, Atomic search interface. So here is a list of different types of Coveo components, Coveo Atomic components that we have used over here. And let me show you how the interface will look like with this. So you'll have a refreshing user interface with the help of Coveo Atomic. So here we go. So this is one of the, the base template or the base interface for somebody, right, who want to get started with the Atomic Framework. However, you can customize it according to your requirement. So to get this, template up and running, right, we just have to write very less code compared to what we used to write before without Atomic, I would say. The question comes where we can get the information about these kind of components, these kind of atomic components. So Coveo provides us a very good documentation for this these atomic components. Let me walk you through that. So here are the list of atomic components that we have got, and these atomic components will help us to create a rich user interface. Okay, and great thing about this components is you can customize them according to your requirement. Okay, and you can customize them And you don't have to learn anything new to customize them. Okay. With the framework that you're using, with the front-end framework that you're using, you can customize them based on the logic that you would like to write. Okay. And we have customized a lot of components based on our client requirement. But ideally, right, we found it very much easy to customize any kind of component. And if you want information about each component, so they have provided us detailed information of each and every component. Let's take an example. I just want to go for a result list. Okay. So here we go. And they give brief information about this result list component. Along with that, they have provided us, okay, they have provided they have provided the interactive examples too. And they also provided what could be the use cases that you can perform and what kind of properties it has got. And if you want to customize them according to your requirement, you can go and customize them. Example, we have display over here. So how do you want it to be? Do you want it to be a list or a grid or table? Okay, then the density. Okay, so like this, it provides us a rich documentation, which is more developer friendly. Using this documentation, right, you can just go ahead and get started and working with this. All right, so moving ahead. Now, whatever the application that I've shown you just before, let me go to the sandbox. Okay, so if you see over here, we have implemented this. I mean, whatever you see here, this is a non-front-end framework. That means this is more on JavaScript. Okay, so let us try to see the same thing by using Angular. So let me walk you through that. So just to save our time, right, I have prepared this already. So if you talk about the configuration, right, let me take you to package.json. So as part of the dependencies, right, you just need to add only one dependency. So if you can just add Atomic Angular dependency, that's more than enough. Now your Angular application is covered with Atomic. Okay, and this is so easy to develop. Why? Because whatever the components that Atomic Angular provides, right? I mean, they have specifically created these libraries based on the framework that you're using. Since we are using Angular, right? So we have to install this Atomic Angular. Once you install that, right, so you get a power to use all the Atomic components. Okay, and initializing the search, this is how it goes. So here we go. Okay, let me just take you through how we actually go and initialize it. Okay, so since we follow Angular, it is completely component based. So we can just go and create one component. So I've created one component here called Atomic Angular page component. So in this component, as part of the life cycle, we have got ng after view unit. So in this, you can go and initialize your search interface by providing the required details like access token, org ID. Okay, and then right after that, okay, you can go ahead and provide more information like what kind of filters you want and okay. And in case if you want to go ahead and create your own components, you can take the help of Angular and you can go ahead and create your own components. So any questions on this so far? Okay, all right. Let me get back to the presentation. Okay, I hope I've shown you how you can get started with Atomic Framework with plain JavaScript, and as well as you can go with Angular. Okay, then right now, okay, if you have any questions, then we can go ahead with Q&A. So guys, do you have any questions?
Hi, Sai. So by using Atomic Framework, can we send custom information in search API?
Okay, you're talking about the context object?
Context object, yeah.
Yeah, yes, we can do that. Yeah, even we tried that. Yes, we can do that. We can send that custom data through this context API. Ideally, right, the APIs will not change. Okay, like take an example of Coveo itself. Like we have this V2 call, right? It still be the same. There is no change in it. From the Coveo perspective, there is no change at all. Okay. Previously, we used to make the XML HTTP request, right? Or we used to have this promises. Okay. But right now here we can take the help of Angular support, and we can use Angular HTTP client, and we can make the regular calls. So for your question, yes, we can do that. Yeah, we can actually go and customize the context object, and we can use it. We have done that before. Yeah.
And what about adding some additional requirement? Is it flexible to add such customizations?
Okay. So when you say, can you just
Provide customizations, adding special features of liking or disliking the results, and sending them as a custom events so that we can grab them in the reports to identify what are the content which are not interested for the users and all such kind of customizations.
Got it. Okay, application related features you're talking about it, right? I understand. Yes, we can do that, and also, like you said, like you've asked, related to analytics. Okay, what Coveo provides. Yeah, we can actually go ahead and implement the custom events too. We can have our take an example. I mean, we have implemented this. Okay, I'll just give you a brief about it. Okay, since you have brought this, I'll just give you a brief about it for the use case. So we have got different features, okay? Just like you mentioned, a like feature, okay? So whenever the user clicks on a post, okay? So we want to track it, okay? Like how many times that user has clicked that post, as well as how many times that user has shared that post. I mean, how many users have shared that post, okay? So this information we wanted to have them listed in the Coveo dashboard, okay? So yes, for this, right, we can just, there is a along with the library, it provides us one component for the custom events. So we can use that Angular custom event component, and then we can tell like, okay, what should be the cause and what should be the type. We can provide that information, and along with the API call that we are doing, that means V2 call, we can pass that information. Yeah, we can do that, yes.
And providing some help icon where we can give some useful links to the user to navigate to different locations and all. So all the customizations are pretty much compatible with Atomic framework.
Yes, you're right. So whatever the previous capabilities that Coveo has, okay, they are still there on top of it. Okay, on top of it. See, previously what used to happen is, whatever the capabilities that Coveo has, okay, it is more at the platform level, okay, not for the developer ideally. Now they focus more on the developer now. So those capabilities are still there, where these capabilities, they become more friendly to the developers. In the sense, if they want to customize, right, any kind of component, or if they want to have their own functionality, right, so they can just go ahead and do it just like that. So for I would say like, yes, any kind of customizations that we want to do. Okay, since we are using the front-end frameworks, right? So with less code itself, we can get those customizations done.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yes, I. So does Coveo Atomic handle like some multi-language search requirements?
Oh, okay. We have not explored that yet, Amarish.
Okay.
Yeah, probably I'll check that and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Thanks.
So either I'll go, maybe by email, I'll get back to you on this, because we have not, we have not experienced it yet, because we did not have the requirement yet. For sure, we're going to explore that and we'll get back to you.
Thanks. And another question, like, so what are the security measures in place, like, so to protect the user data within the Atomic?
Okay. So see, when it comes to security, right, from day one, right, Coveo from the platform level, right, okay, it does not provide us any security at our application level. Okay. So when you build your own application, right, so when it comes to security, we have to externally bring in that security to our application. Okay. So security for data and all of that, yeah, it should be handled at application level itself, Amresh.
Okay. Thanks.
As you have mentioned about data security and rights, anyhow, in the front end application, we are not going to maintain that data, right? Always data is always maintained in the DB or in the code itself. So end-to-end data is completely encrypted. Yeah, I'm talking about sensitive data. That data is completely encrypted. Other data, you know that, right? Through that HTTPS encrypted channel, we are getting the data, and in the same way, it is getting saved into the code also. So data is secure.
Good. Thanks.
And what about
Anybody
the
else?
latest features of Coveo, like generative answering and all? Are those components available within the Atomic framework?
Ashok, would you like to answer it?
Every latest feature is available. This Atomic is not anything different from Coveo, what it does previously. It is supporting each and everything what Coveo does. Only for the implementation purpose, it brings in some kind of flexibility to the developers to implement the application. That is how Atomic is contributing. Atomic and Headless. Headless is whenever we come down to the headless level in case of implementation, that brings in some kind of complexity because we are leaving Atomic behind and we are completely doing headless. Headless is again, it is a complete library that Coveo is providing. And if we have to modify something which is already Coveo providing, we have to get into the headless level and we will do it. Apart from that, it supports each and everything that what Coveo does.
Okay.
Any more questions, guys? So all the questions that you guys have asked are very valid questions. And I mean, this kind of questions. Yeah, I see like Krishna has got a question. Yeah, Krishna, go ahead. Krishna, I see you have raised your hand.
No, I don't have any questions. I'm
Oh,
not a
okay.
person.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Maybe I think we are good, right?
Okay, well, thank you all. And thank you, Sai. That was a very good and thorough discussion of Atomic framework, and appreciate all of the work that you did to get this ready.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Ashok.
And
Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining.